How's it going, everybody? Brad here. Welcome to the second episode, of the 16-bit show. Today's game I'm reviewing is Family Guy, the video game. Is it good? Is it bad? Does it hold up? Let's find out. So basically, Family Guy, the video game, is based off of the original show, Family Guy. And basically, there are three storylines in this game. You play as three different characters: Stewie, Brian, and Peter. And like I said, all of them have their own storylines. Stewie's storyline is pretty simple. He's in his room with Rupert showing off his new mind control device when all of a sudden he gets interrupted by Bertram, who's on his roof trying to take his satellite, which he uses to control people's minds. So Stewie goes out, gets to Bertram to try and stop him, but then decides that it's easier just to blow up the satellite so it doesn't go into the wrong hands. But it turns out that's what Bertram wanted all along. We then go to Brian's story. In Brian's story, he's sitting in his living room reading a magazine when Seabreeze, Carter, Peter Schmidt's prize-winning dog shows up. And then moments later, Carter shows up and accuses Brian of impregnating Seabreeze again. But Brian denies this, but Carter doesn't believe him, and he pays off the cops to not believe him as well, which causes Brian to go to jail and talks to Joe, and Joe says that in order for him to be innocent, he has to find evidence. So when Joe looks the other way, Brian sneaks away and goes to sneak around and find files to prove his innocency. Then we go to Peter's story. And Peter's story, basically, was in the garage. He was watching his favorite show, Mr. Belvedere, when he hears noise on the roof. He then walks out of his garage. The satellite that Bertram blew up falls on Peter and knocks him out cold. Peter then wakes up in the hospital and sees Mr. Belvedere's signal and thinks that Mr. Belvedere kidnapped his family and everybody is against him and wants him dead. A bunch of mini games you play throughout the game, and basically these will get you advancements and things such as extra life, turning invisible for a short amount of time, etc., etc. And I do really like those mini games. It's fine. Now we're getting to the good things. One of the main good things I like is that the graphics are pretty decent for the time, and it definitely looks like Family Guy. And speaking of looking like Family Guy, it also feels like a Family Guy game, because you don't play through each and every single person, one to the next, you play a little bit of one, a little bit of the other, a little bit of the other. So a bit of Brian and a bit of Peter. So it feels like a Family Guy episode, because that is generally how the episodes are done. Another good thing about it is that it's a really good challenge. I feel that, it does get really frustrating at some points, but I really feel like it keeps you on edge, it keeps you wanting to play, you want to keep going and beating that level, and that's what a game is all about. You also see a lot of background characters, and a lot of the places you play in are in the original show. It's pretty funny. Now I talked about all the good things, get into some of the bad things. Basically, I feel like the game is a little short. I feel like it could have been a little longer. It's only probably take you about a couple of days to beat, depending on how good at game you are. You could probably even beat it in one day. It did take me a couple of days to beat it myself. I felt like it could have been a little longer. And the only other bad thing I really think of is when you're in Peter's body as Stewie and you're trying to swim through the obstacles. I find it's very slippery, the controls, and I find you always crash to the fucking things, and you always just get beat up there. I died quite a few times going through there, but besides that, it's still pretty decent. So now overall, Family Guy the video game, it's a fun game. I recommend it for any Family Guy fan out there, and I really feel like this is something people will like to play. However, it is not for everybody. And it does have its flaws, so for that reason, it is an 8 out of 10 for me. Anyways, guys, it's gonna have to do it for me today. I am your host, Bradley Dunn. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Please subscribe, please like everything, blah blah blah, and I'll see you later.